Hi, Mette here, broadcasting to you from the other side of a crazy childhood. One of the biggest mistakes I made during my personal development or dismantling of old bad stories was that I thought that there was actually um, social rules. I don't know the correct English term for it, but unwritten rules about how you were supposed to behave socially to be accepted. I thought that there was a set of rules, and for many years I was so, can you say disgruntled? I was so frustrated that I didn't know the rules. Since I grew up in a dysfunctional home, I was not given that set of rules. My parents didn't live by that set of rules. That became very clear to me as even as a teenager, growing up at 16 or 17. It became obvious to me that I was not given the set of rules by which I was supposed to act when I was out being social with others. I had no clue on how to be a friend. I had no clue to how to be at a party and have a good time. I didn't have the skills to hang out with someone and just relax and be casual and have a good time. I had no idea how to do that. When I looked at my parents, all I could see was my mom being either flirtatious or silent, or my daddy being either one who was a very loud and noisy person, always the center of the company, and he was very good at it. He was good at telling jokes and interesting stories, or being sarcastic or aggressive or abusive. Um, he would put himself on a pedestal so that others would worship him or adore him, look at him and think highly of him, higher than of themselves. And as you can imagine, those skills were not very useful for a young girl at 16 or 17, starting to grow up and wanting to start to make contact with other people. Being a child and having friends is completely different from being a grown-up and having friends. Some friends you keep for life, but there are different rules for when you are grown up than when you are a child. Or rules. When you're a child, you just go up to someone and you say, "Hey, wanna play?" And you play together. And you figure out the rules along the way, and maybe it works and maybe it doesn't work, and that was that day. And that was that game. And that's great. But as a grown up, as an adult, there are so many ways to fuck up social interaction. So I had the image of myself as a person who had not been given the rule set for social behavior. And that meant that I was constantly looking at others, trying to fit into whatever social rules I thought I was observing. Okay, so this is a party where they talk a lot about their boyfriends. Good, I'll talk about my boyfriend. But when I started talking, I would either be like my mom, flirtatious, or I would be like my father and be too much. And they would not laugh, they would not find it funny, they would find it awkward and weird. And so I was awkward and weird. And I was awkward and weird for many years. And I remember those of my friends who I had carried over to adulthood from my childhood often said, "Mette, you're crazy." And I was crazy. When you saw it from an ordinary person's point of view, the ordinary person's perspective, I looked crazy because I did things and I said things and I had a behavior that was so off key compared to what normal, regular people was doing. And it took me so many years to see that it's not true. There isn't some social rule set that you have to apply to or to obey. The truth is that you have to turn it upside down. You have to put it on its head and say, okay, there are a lot of relationships that I do not fit into with the person I am. So I need to do two things. First of all, I need to become the person I really want to be and the person I really am. I need to find out what that is. And when I'm there, I need to find people who actually match that. Instead of trying to fit in, I should fit in with me at first and then find people who fit in with that. I don't need, yes sayers that always pats my back and says, yes, Mette, you're right, you're amazing, you're fantastic, you're sweet and you're clever. I don't need that, but I need someone who understands my thinking and who doesn't think that I'm weird and crazy all the time. They can think I'm crazy and weird because I am, but in a good way. So I have to find people who actually appreciate the way I'm crazy and weird, instead of relating to people who find me awkward and weird in a negative way. Does it make sense? I think the most important message here is that I know that I'm not alone with the idea that there is a special social skill set, a set of rules that we are not been given. We didn't get the degree on the social rules, and we spend a lot of energy and a lot of time trying to fit into that rule set, to actually be someone who can be loved by others or accepted by others or social with others, instead of looking inward and finding out who we really are as a person, and then making that our starting point, making that the foundation for everything we do and everything we choose in life, also the social relations. And once I understood that I'm not supposed to fit into some social relations where I don't fit in, I'm supposed to create my own set of friends based on my own values and my own set of skills, then it suddenly became a lot easier to find friends. And I found the most amazing people who are so crazy in each their own way, and who have their own values and their own set of skills. And we don't always match in every area, but that's okay, because one of my very important things is that I need to have people in my life with whom I can talk about everything. Also talk about how we don't match in the areas that we don't match. So I have friends, for example, who do not match my political views at all. And that's okay. They can be totally different from me, but it's so important to be able to talk about it in a loving way, where we have love as the starting point, love as the foundation, love and respect for the person we are talking to, who sees the world differently from us. Yeah? Does that make sense? Do you recognize it in yourself and your own life? I would so like to hear from you. Let's talk about this issue, this thing about social rules, and should I fit in or should I create my own, and how do we do it? Let me hear from you, and let's have a talk about this subject. Okay, I hope my English wasn't too awful and I look forward to talking with you and evolving this issue and rolling it out like a wonderful piece of pie dough that we can all look at and smell and enjoy. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.